Welcome to the Forge, where two enter, and one leaves champion, while the other leaves beaten, battered, and bruised. This week we have two top-level players, as always. On one hand, we have MingistheKing, who is apparently royalty of some nation, possibly the U.S., I'm not sure. On the other hand, we have StillHadAllDeez, or something like that. And so we're going to pit these two competitors today against each other. Let's meet the gang then. On the one hand, we have MingistheKing. For those of you who don't know Ming, because maybe you came to the game a little later, Ming is one of the top players in the game. In the last season, before the first Forge Watch Invitational, Ming was crushing tournaments regularly. He was actually one of my main play testers, along with this other guy, Jake somebody. And he was the 12th overall seed heading in. He didn't do quite as well as he would have liked, but he's still a dominant player. The other player we have for you this week is StillHadAllDeez. He is known a little bit more as a drafting specialist, but he lately won the unheroic tournament, and so we thought we would bring him on and see if his unheroic heroics translated well to constructed. So Jake, let's go ahead and take a look at these decks. What do you think of Ming's deck here?
It's super interesting in a sense. We've seen I've seen decks like it before, you could say.
Okay.
I know it's similar to a deck that was played at the Invitational.
I say it's quite different if you're talking about your deck. Are you talking about your deck?
No, not my deck.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I know PTK played a list similar to this at the Invitational.
But his list was a little more all-in on shenanigans by running Windborn Hellion.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. This is more just, hey, I have 3 Doom Wings and 3 Wind Colors as synergy with each other.
Exactly. The way I view it is more like, hey, I've got 3 Doom Wings, and Doom Wing wrecks the meta right now. Oh, and I also have Wind Caller in case I happen to get one, so I can double wreck your board. So
it's nice with him because it can activate the turn that you play it as well. You don't have to wait and let it get killed.
Exactly. I'll be very curious to see if Ming prioritizes Wind Caller or if he uses it just simply as I have Doom Wing, I can get a double kill out of him. Or if he says, I need to level this because if I don't, then I won't be able to use Doom Wing later. I'll be very curious to see which direction he goes with it.
I could see him playing it fairly aggressively because it also lets him move Predators over and even double move Predators.
Exactly. So it could be a very interesting deck. I look forward to seeing how it does. On the other side, we have StillHadAllDeez, and he is running a pretty standard Grobots deck. He's got a Justicar in there. I know I've taken them out of mine. A number of other players have taken them out of theirs, but I think you still have one in yours. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do run one copy still in mine, just as a, he's good against certain cards, and that's when you want to play him. And at the same time, when you are forced to play him, he still has a good body, so you don't lose much by having that one that you sometimes want to level,
Yeah, exactly. I feel that way, but I also feel at the same time that there's better cards I want to put in that slot. That
is the opportunity cost, is you do lose that one spot in your deck. That could be something else.
Exactly. And in fact, I have a secret build that I've worked up that I may unveil this weekend, in which I don't have him, and I believe I still only have 2 Tacticians as well. So you'll have to wait and see if I'm able to play on Saturday, see my secret take on the deck. But overall, it is basically the standard Grobots deck. So we're going to see essentially if Ming's removal deck with added Doomwing shenanigans removal can take out the Grobots. So Jake, who do you think is going to win this one?
I mean, I am somewhat known on occasion to play Nectarium Tempest control, you could say. So personally, I have to go with Ming is going to take this one down.
All right. Well, I haven't been wrong yet.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's not true.
But I don't know who to take here. I feel like Robots probably in a best of 5 has the advantage. I think in a best of 1 it's kind of coin flippy, but I think it has the advantage. However, Ming is the king, and picking against royalty can be pretty dangerous.
Could be your last move, in fact.
That is
Final
true.
decision you make.
That is true. I could be headless after that type of decision. But I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to get crazy. I think I'm going to go with StillHadAllDeez and see if he can make me look like a hero. And you know what? You're right. I remembered. Last week I didn't pick Holy Llamas, did I?
No, you didn't.
I don't think anyone picked Holy Llamas last week. He surprised us all.
No, but I had an anecdote that I really wanted Holy Llamas to succeed last week.
I think everyone
and he did.
Even my mom called the show and said, "Tiny, I really want Holy to win." And I said, Mom, Holy's going to lose. You're just going to have to accept
It's not going to happen. Yep.
And then Holy won.
And then he played 3 Cultivates in player level 1. And
yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Turns out those 7/7s just kill your opponent.
I don't think I've seen that before. Let's go ahead and bring in our first contestant, Ming, who is most certainly the king.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Welcome to the show, Ming.
Hi, Ming.
Why did you select the deck that you selected?
So I went through kind of a chaotic whirlwind. I was like, well, I guess I should just play Growbots. But then I was like, let's not play Growbots because I'd rather play anything else. So this deck is actually the deck that I played at the Forge Watch Invitational Qualifier. It's card for card the same deck. So when you said there was a deck like this at the Invitational, you weren't wrong.
I was
That's
right.
Interesting.
And actually, this is basically the first constructed deck that I ever really committed to in the entire game of SoulForge. Before I ever played Shapers, I played this exact list.
Wow.
But in order to get into the that first tournament that I played in, I was like, well, Shapers are really strong. All right, let me hop in and play Shapers. So I basically took this list and I was like, all right, pull out the Doomwing, pull out the Windcaller Shaman,
Insert 6 Shapers.
insert 6 Shapers, and then I was like, I didn't like Predator that much, so I trimmed that down for some Magma Hounds. But other than that, it was like, this is exactly what it was. But
Cool.
Okay.
So you've been playing the deck for a while.
Well,
yeah, and apparently, anytime my match is streamed, I have never won.
Wow.
Which is-
That's an impressive
Ever.
track record.
Wow.
You know, that makes me worry that you aren't actually the one who's normally playing, and it's like a robotic child of yours that usually plays. And when you're on stream, you have to actually be the one playing, and then it doesn't work out as well. Is that true?
Yeah, I actually have Hans like chained in my basement.
Really?
he grinds my account for me.
That's really interesting. I did not realize that.
But since now I'm on stream, I have to be here, right? I mean, I could have figured out some system where he plays and I talk, but that's
It's dangerous
awkward.
though. He could escape. He could,
Yeah, he could yell for help right in the middle. It would really
Right in the
ruin
middle.
everything. I
Right.
do have a question for you though, and this is not meant to pour salt in the wound, but so this deck did not allow you to do as well as you wanted in the Forge Watch Invitational.
Oh, it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't the deck.
Okay, that's
There's
what
no
I wanted
salt.
to
There's
know.
no salt in the wound. The deck is fine.
Okay, good.
The problem is there was some pilot error.
Ah,
You know, like imagine you get in that F-22 and then you just nosedive into the river.
yes, I've heard there's been
Boom,
occasions
right
where
in the mouth.
people have played their decks less than perfectly. Not me, of course. Not me.
No, not you.
No,
Definitely not you.
you're exactly the opposite. You are
Always
terrible in
play
testing. Like
exceptional.
you never win in testing. For those of you who don't know, when Tiny Grimes is testing, he like can't win.
He loses basically 100 out of 100 times.
And he comes out of it like, oh, I'm the worst player. Like, I shouldn't even play in this tournament. I'm so bad. And then he goes on camera, and it's like the skin comes off, and the Terminator like emerges. And
There we go.
he just crushes.
Boom! Instant 4th place.
Yeah,
Oh.
when we tested for the invitational, I was like 35-1 against him.
But I must say that's because I was being stubborn and not running Botanamates at the time, thinking I didn't have to, and your Thundersaurs won like 32 of those games. So I must thank you publicly. You are the reason why I did well in the Forge Witch Invitational. Because of you, I gave in and played Botanamates again because your Thundersaurs ate me 30 games in a row.
We could have saved you 30 games and said, Grimes, put 2 Botanamates in your deck. End of story.
Yes.
No, it's because a lot of people were advocating against Botanamate.
Those people are silly.
I was
And
probably the main
Grimes-
one because
Grimes-
Bastard
You
was
were
so
the main
good.
one. You
The
were the one who
academic
argued
that
with
he
me all
is.
the time. Botanamate's terrible. And I said, no, Grimes.
Level gated, gives him a creature, the Patriarch buffs it. It's unplayable.
Yep.
Okay.
Except if you don't clear the Thundersaur, you lose.
Exactly. Well, Ming, good luck, sir. I picked your opponent, but please do not behead me if you emerge champion. My apologies in advance.
No, this is just another in a long line of our constant war for daggering each other in public.
Don't worry, Ming. I got your back. NT forever, man.
Yeah, NT for life.
There you go. You
That's
guys should
right.
get matching tattoos. It's on.
How do you know we don't have them?
Contact
Yeah.
Kibler. He'll pay for them.
I literally messaged Jake the other day and said, "Are you me?"
He did, actually.
After I read his Metamart bio.
There you go. All right, twins. Hopefully, we will talk to you after the match. All right, let's welcome in our next contestant. StillHadAllDeez.
When it's like, yo, wait, buddy, take a look at this.
And,
Still had all
how are you
these.
doing?
That's what they say, yo.
Hey, I'm doing good today.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome
It's
aboard.
exciting to be on here.
And so how did you pick this this list?
I mean, really tough, you know. I tested a long time with this kind of brew I brought for the show today. I was talking to PTK and trying to decide what list I should play, and we figured we'd throw something that we've been working on for a while. Throw everyone for a loop, you know.
Yeah, it's a good idea to sort of surprise people with a new build.
Absolutely.
No, but in all seriousness, AJE8, this is his list from, I think he played it on the Forge, and
okay.
he wrote an article on it, and that's kind of what my break into Constructed was. I've been like playing SoulForge since the closed beta, and I had like a Mono Utera build with Packmaster when it was really sweet, and then I just never really played Constructed when Draft came out because that was the most exciting thing I thought of the game. But then as Constructed developed, I found Growbots and just thought, man, this deck has so much value everywhere, and I just don't ever want to stop playing it.
Yeah, it is definitely a good deck. What about Justicar? That's I mean, it's really hard to find any faults with your deck, and Justicar included. But I'm just curious, did you include Justicar for a specific reason, or did you just think this is in a lot of the good builds, it's a useful card, I'm just going to include it?
I have been running Jetpack in Tournament Queue as the one of, and it's been winning me a bunch of games, but sometimes I've been drawing the awkward hand of like Roar, Vitaminate, Jetpack, and some guy. So I'd rather have my last slot just be another guy who's useful, which I could play Echo Wisp too, but I've been seeing a lot of Epidemics, and I just felt Justicar was the better standalone body in the random off chance you get a bad draw, but it also just kind of hurts Zimus a lot. So it has its useful applications, but sometimes when you just draw your awkward hand, I'd rather have the decent body of Justicar than two fragile things.
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, one of the nemesis for this deck can be NT if you don't see your Gargoyles, or if they see all their Dreadbolts. And if they go the Zemus route, then Justicar is a really good answer for that.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Jake? Anything you want to add to this list?
I agree with his reasoning to a certain extent. You know, cutting down on the spells is definitely a plus in a list like this. You want to have basically as few spells as you can get away with. and just have as many creatures as you can. So I can definitely see the Justicar in that sense. I mean, I do run one myself at the moment, so
Right.
I agree.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Let's get this party started. And,
Yeah, let's get the show on the road.
I did pick you to win. Still had all D's, so I expect you to win.
I hope to not let you down.
It's okay. If you do, then there'll be serious ramifications. But don't worry about it.
All right. I'll keep it on the back of my mind.
All right, guys. Good luck to both of you, and we will talk to you. Well, we'll talk to one of you after the show.
He's going to do his best to make you right, even just this 1 week, Grimes.
I've been right nearly every week.
Up
Every
for debate.
single week.
Up for debate.
As long as debate means I'm correct, then I agree.
It could.
All right.
All right.
So what do you think is going to be the key to this first game? That's funny. I've got the wrong deck list up there. Let's go ahead and
I
fix
see
that.
that.
Let's go ahead and fix
like,
those.
Hey, my face.
Let's fix that.
I think this match comes down to can Ming successfully execute his anti-Growbots plan when it comes down to it, because we know that Growbots is going to do its thing, because the deck always does its thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of its calling card, is that, hey, I'm the most consistent thing you could possibly play. It doesn't actually matter what cards you draw. You just play your 2 best cards every turn, and there you go. They're all good.
And then you're in business.
And then you're in business. So we're going to see if Ming can successfully counter that with his own plan here, and whether that involves possibly some ridiculous Doomwing shenanigans, killing like 4 creatures potentially.
I really hope it does.
I hope so.
I
That seems
really want to
exciting me.
see at least one game where Doomwing goes bananas.
Goes bananas and kills the entire board.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you're just like, yep, that's why Doomwing's in the deck.
Yep,
That
that's
reason. Oops. Yep, we'll see how it works out. But I'm rooting for at least one Doomwing nutty game. That's my goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the
Even
other
if we don't
question
get the
though.
nutty game, I hope there's at least a lot of Doomwing swooping over and killing Thunderswords for free.
Yeah, another question is whether he'll play Arc Flights a lot, knowing that Ming has so much removal for Arc Flight. Is it going to be sort of dangerous? And actually, I guess he only has really Spark, so I think probably in this particular matchup, Arc Flight will be good. Because it's really a
it's
debate
not
I'm
bad
having
because
right
he doesn't have culls.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Now
there's
having
a lot
calls
more
is-
options for killing the
That's kind of shocking, to be honest. I see. When I started that statement, I just assumed he had 3 Spark, 3 Call.
3
Mid-statement,
calls, yeah.
I look up and I'm like, oh, he actually doesn't have calls. So Arc Flight's better than he normally is. So if I'm StillHad, I think I run Arc Flight out there and probably a Thundersaur as well. Okay,
I think so.
Looks like he's thinking about Gemhide Basher just to trade off the Phoenix, which I think is perfectly reasonable. I think I would rather level the Cull, rather level the Thundersaur, especially knowing he doesn't have Culls. He doesn't really have an answer for Thundersaur the more I look at that.
Well, he's very much planning on playing Doomwing this turn. Is what he's going to do.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be
Sure.
prioritizing his Doomwings, I think.
Oh, and he's going to get to move him too. Yeah, I hadn't looked at his
He
hand.
can actually kill the Arc Flight with the
Yep.
Doomwing.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome. He can block with the Doomwing
Yep.
from the Tactician,
Yep.
and then move it to kill the Arc Flight.
Post-combat.
Now, whether that's worth passing on putting a Predator down in that middle lane to eat that Tactician, I don't know.
I
But
think it is.
I do want the Squadron dead, personally.
Yeah, I mean, you let a squadron live for a while, you lose against Growbots. Like, that's how Growbots wins. If it gets a bunch of extra robots, you can't keep up. And this is the whole
personally,
point.
I would slam the Doomwing.
Like,
play
I'm looking
here.
at this and I'm thinking, Ming, this is the whole point of your deck, man. You got to do it. You
Yeah,
got to
like
do
that's the synergy that you run for.
There it
and
is.
Look how good it is. Like, that's insane.
it. There it is. We got to see best case scenario one time. Here, I think it's
Okay,
obviously...
on the second turn though,
Yeah,
it didn't
no.
take long for us to
Yeah.
get to best case scenario.
Exactly. Obviously, Tactician into Weirwood. Probably Weirwood in
Weirwood.
5. You could... I'm sorry, in 1. You could go in 5, but I think 1 is safer. What about you?
I would personally put it in 5.
Yes,
because then it can't be
actually,
killed by Doomwing.
you definitely want to go in 5. The
Because
problem
as
with
you can
this,
see, it does have another wind color.
yeah, this little
He
view,
has
I'm not
double
seeing it
wind
correctly.
color.
Oh my goodness.
He can
This
just
is
move
just
it twice.
wrong. And is he going to win caller? Again,
I think he's
overwriting? Is he going to
Yeah.
do it?
Doing it.
Oh my god. I love this deck. Oh, wow. Poor StillHadAllDeez. He doesn't even know what's happening right now.
So we didn't have to wait very long for Doomwing to kill the entire board.
Yeah. Remember I said, I hope he gets just one time to pull that off. Yeah, no, he's pulled it off. I think you
He's
double
pulled it off.
gargoyle here. Just get those gargoyles out. Oh, interesting.
I mean, he wanted to trade for the Doomwing, I guess. I would have still put the gargoyle in front of the Doomwing, though.
Yeah.
To level the gargoyle instead of the Matrix Warden.
Yep, leveled gargoyles are really hard to deal with. It's just Dreadbolt or Doomwing. That's it. That's all he's got to deal with them.
Yep. And he does level the second Doomwing here.
All right,
He's got
so
2 leveled Doomwings in his deck.
so what do you do
and
here?
all 3 wind colors.
Okay, so I think what I would do here is I would have Bashered, Combat, and then Tactician in 3, and just get that dang Doomwing off the board. I would have certainly thought about it.
I like the Arclight play, to be honest.
I do too, but it's going away.
Yeah, that is a fact.
I mean, it's just always going away because Ming has become the man who draws all the wind callers all of the time.
He's going to use the wind color, right? Not the spark. He's hovering over the spark, but I think he used the wind color.
I think you have to use the wind caller. You got to level it.
Like, you want to get that Gyro Drake out of the middle lane anyways. It's just going to die in combat.
Yeah, exactly. I think you got a wind caller for overwrite, move the Doomwing over, wipes out Arc Flight, and then what's your other play? Do you just level your other Doomwing? Do you throw a Phoenix down somewhere?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I probably play a Phoenix to the board.
Yeah, I think having 2 Doomwings leveled is fine. That underleveled Doomwing is going to be somewhat underwhelming.
Yeah, well, especially because the further your Doomwings fall behind, the easier they are to knock off with Bashers.
Yeah.
So I definitely like getting the Phoenix going here for potential, if the game keeps going.
Right.
Which, I mean, it looks like he's not going to get run over, although he is in the process of aggroing down the Grobot's deck.
Yeah, get run over. He's going to do some running over.
Yeah.
There's no worry about him getting run over. Come on. Ooh, a little bit.
All right, so what do we got from Grobot's here? He's got the Patriarch 2,
Yep.
but it is going to be turned off by that Tactician sitting in the middle lane.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem. Because otherwise, going Arc Flight 5 Weir would
And
probably
then buff
be a
it
good
up
play.
would be fine. Yeah, but instead he can't buff anything.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough spot. I think I would consider dropping the Weirwood in 4 and maybe even trading. I don't know. This is a tough call. I don't think I would trade the Arc Flight for the Doomwing because an under-leveled Arc Flight isn't that great.
Well, underleveled Arclight has the benefit of improving your bad hands in later player levels.
But the problem is you often don't want to play it because it's under-leveled and you have better cards in your hand to play.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing with Growbots. It always has amazing cards.
I mean, the other thing here is, we know that Ming is holding a handful of removal, and everything is dying this turn.
Right.
Everything.
Well, it seems like a reasonable play. Everything.
Okay, maybe not the Tactician, actually.
Yeah, I think I would be tempted to play the Phoenix Egg. Just drop it in like 5.
I do, yeah. I put it in 5 for sure. Get that leveled. It may or may not survive, but either way, he's going to have to either put a Basher in front of it,
Yeah, exactly.
or it is going to pop at some point.
Right. Yeah, because he hopefully will be able to remove whatever.
Remove whatever goes in front to block it.
Yeah.
And even if he doesn't, I mean, that is, a lot of aggro defrayed from the deck. There's absolutely no pressure against Ming at this point.
Yep.
He is complete, and here is the Doomwings, again with a wind collar. So he has the option to kill absolutely anything on the board in any lane.
And that gargoyle might have been the gargoyle he didn't level before. And if that's a 9/9 gargoyle, that's a huge difference on this board. He can drop
Well,
it.
at the same time, though, that gargoyle would get killed by the Doomwing.
Yeah, but it could wipe out the wind caller before it goes. Then he could play something else in front of the Phoenix, wipe that out.
True.
Yeah, wow. That's interesting. He could have wiped them both out with the Sentinel. And he doesn't play the Gargoyle again. And I understand the reason that he wants to keep a guy on the board, but, I mean, not leveling Gargoyles is, in my opinion, the fastest way to lose in this matchup.
A little bit.
All right, so I think
interestingly, that Thundersaur in front of the egg is not one of the things he can kill.
Yeah, but it's interesting. You could just go Windcaller and move it over if you're really worried about it. You could just trade the Doomwing.
Yeah, you just shove the Phoenix Egg over to 1. He only needs one more turn.
I don't think I would, though. I think I would do it exactly how he's doing it.
Yeah.
And then next turn, you
Just
can
take the 3
hopefully move Doomwing over and just take out the Thundersaur anyway.
Yeah, because now he's in the middle where he wants to be. Full access to the entire board.
Yeah, and if for some reason he doesn't buff Thundersaur, then great. I got a Phoenix. I'm perfectly happy with that. So he's going to have to buff the Thundersaur.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is he has a level 3 Phoenix in his deck. And his opponent is currently struggling to kill the egg that's still on the ashes that are still on the board. Okay,
Yep.
There's the buff.
Yeah, and that worked out really well having the Basher there. That was a well-timed Basher. Gives him a little bit of a chance. He's still way down, though.
It brings him a lot of traction back onto the board. At the same time, he's at 33 life and taking 14 this turn.
Exactly.
Like,
If Ming had any hand here, it would just be over.
it would actually be over. And, it might be anyways, to be honest, because
might
that
be.
Phoenix is going to come down.
Yep.
It's a guaranteed 7 damage. He's already down to 19. There's a Static Shock and a Spark in Ming's
Ooh.
hand.
Yeah, that's 9
9
right
points
there.
of burn.
All right, there's a Gargoyle. And is he going to play? Nope, he's not going to play the Thundersaur
Goes for the
2.
Arc Flight. Clear
which
the
is too
board off
slow.
a bit.
Yep.
However,
So Windcaller here would have won the game.
yes, that's true.
Let's see. Will he win instead? He's got 9 plus 7 is 16. He's going to be a touch short.
It's okay. He just goes for the Epidemic. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep, I think I would go to the
Yeah,
face here as
Spark
well.
in the face. I agree.
Just put him down to
At this point,
3,
anything is lethal except
and he's got Spark in his hand.
All right. So unless StillHadAllDeez managed to do 70 damage this turn.
So let's talk about this real quick. What happened there? That's best case scenario for Ming, right? Like it doesn't get any better than that. Bouncing.
Well, he could have
Doomwings
2.4 to Phoenix.
around. This is true. I guess technically it's not best case scenario. It's just really, really darn close.
Very close. I mean, that's basically exactly how you want to play your Doomwing Windcaller combo if you can somehow manage it.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open up a window to do a giveaway here.
Yeah. We're giving away lots of prizes. We got codes, and I believe we're doing Metamart Invitational
Yeah, we sure are.
invites as well, right?
Right from Jake's stash.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Let's see. Actually, we could give one away. I mean, we could give one away from each of our stashes and give away 2
We could
today.
do that.
I
mean,
that.
your stash is 2.5 times as big as mine, but yeah, we could do that.
I've given away a lot of them. All right.
Yeah, no, we can give away one of mine. That's
All right,
totally
we're going
fine.
to do the first one's going to be hashtag Ming, because Ming is the king. It should be hashtag Doomwing, actually, but I'm not that smart. So,
I
hashtag...
kind of love Doomwing today, right now, after that.
Yeah, you're going to see Doomwing all over the queue later today. That's for sure.
As you know, I do play Doomwing in my own version of NT, and you always judge me for it.
Psh, judge you. I don't judge anyone for anything.
Oh, yeah, you're always like, oh, Doomwing. You sure about that card, Jake?
I think
Which
since
is your way
Ming
of
won,
saying, I secretly think that card's terrible.
we need to play a little bit more of Ming's theme music since he won the first one.
Absolutely. Ming picked the song himself.
Yep. It's about the courting his wife did of him.
Yeah.
All right, you guys can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready, and we'll do the giveaway in just a minute or two as we wait for more people to come in. All right, so are we going to see the same thing? Is Ming going to get Doomwing action all day, all night a second time?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I think StillHadAllDeez is probably worried about that.
I think his head is reeling right now. Like,
I don't
what am
think
I
he knows
supposed
what
to do?
hit him last game.
I don't really know what you're supposed to do about that, though. If your opponent goes Doomwing Wind Color every turn, I think you lose. Like, I just think that's how it works.
Double Wind Colored one turn with a Doomwing down. It didn't even matter what cards he played. Any 2/3 higher game, they were going to die.
Yep. All right, so what kind of approach does StillHad take here? I mean, Doomwing can move around. So I guess this is the question. Is Thundersoar even all that viable in this matchup? Or do you just
honestly, I
disregard
don't
him?
think so. Thundersoar is already generally bad against NT.
Yeah, except for if they don't have Cull. And then suddenly it's not that bad.
Well, okay, admittedly, it gets better if your opponent doesn't have Cull. If your opponent has 3 Doomwings, though, I think that reverses somewhat to back to it being fairly bad.
I agree. I think maybe the answer was maybe Matrix Warden the Gargoyle? I don't know. I mean, that's dangerous.
That also feels bad, though, because then a Wind Collar blows you out completely.
Yeah, exactly. As does any number of removal spells. Like
As does
that.
Shock, Lightning Spark, I guess.
Then he moves over Doomwing and moves him back. I certainly wouldn't put Thundersoar there. I think I would have put Thundersoar over in 1, though I think he was worried that Wind Collar would drop down and blow him out, and that was his way to not get blown out by Wind Collar.
Yeah, definitely. He was playing around that, and I can definitely get behind that plan as well.
So, does he do Botanimate here on the Doomwing? Or does he just kill it outright? I think he kills it outright with a Basher, because the leveled Basher...
It.
Yeah, the leveled Basher will handle him.
Yeah, the leveled Basher even handles a level 3 Doomwing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the 10s line up. So you definitely want to level every level 1 Basher that you see. At that point, you can leave it on level 2. You don't have to put it all the way on 3. But you definitely want to get all your Bashers to level 2.
All right, so he puts the Arc Flight down, which again is kind of slow. He could have Botanimated the Phoenix as well to try to prevent some damage. I think the Arc Flight's the right play, though. If it works, he's going to be in business.
I like the Arc Flight. It's not going to die this turn. He's going to level the Dreadbolt, knock off the Thundersoar post-combat,
I think that's the way to go. Dreadbolt's really good in this matchup anyway against Gargoyles.
I mean, there's no way. The only way he could kill the Arc Flight is by Dreadbolting and Epidemicing. And there's just no way that he's going to take that line of play. You can't pass on all those threats.
Yep, I totally agree.
Especially when apparently attacking for 7 is pretty good in this matchup today.
Over and over and over.
Yeah.
It did seem good last time.
For 7 5 times with each of your guys.
So what do you do here? Do you go a Matrix Warden in front of each of these Phoenix buffing themselves? I mean, the one Phoenix is going to move out of the way, so that's not really as effective.
I mean, I like playing the Tactician.
Yeah, but we get an extra play because of our Arc Flight.
I was just saying, do both the Wardens on top of that.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right play, though. I do like putting the Thundersoar down here.
I kind of like the Thundersoar. Yeah, I think I agree with the Thundersoar.
See how that works out.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Anything amazing he's got here? I think you move out of the way of the Thundersoar. Maybe move the Phoenix to 3.
Phoenix to 3 to knock it off for free, for sure.
The question is, do you Dreadbolt or do you Spark the Squadron?
Or just block with Zemus. I don't mind having one Zemus leveled.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely want to get the Wind Collar leveled. Like, that's priority 1 for me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm okay with Zemus Wind Collar. I'm also okay with. I think he passes on Dreadbolt. It's not like StillHadAllDeez is playing his Gargoyles aggressively anyway.
Yeah, exactly. He's leveled 1 Dreadbolt to 0 Gargoyles, or did he play one Gargoyle the first turn?
I don't think there's been a Gargoyle this game.
I think there has. I think he worked hard to get rid of 1.
You're right. There's 1, and he sparked it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're correct.
So 1 Dreadbolt should probably be okay to handle it. I would definitely be worried, though, about that runaway Thundersoar. You know, Dreadbolt will handle a runaway Thundersoar also. So I can certainly get behind that.
He's going for the Dreadbolt.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I would definitely play the Wind Collar, though. I mean, we saw just how good it was.
For the Zemus.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
maybe does. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Zemus is certainly a good card to play there. I mean, having a level 3 Zemus in your deck is always good. But boy, that Wind Collar. Oh, it calls to me. calls in the wind, as it were.
Calls you in the wind, as
Yeah.
it were. Yeah.
Tiny, level me. I will do great things with your Doom Wing.
Oh, what's it gonna be, Ming? He goes with the Zemus. Bam. All right, so one Zemus has been leveled,
Mm-hmm.
which is, it's an interesting whole decision tree because his opponent has reacted to seeing that he has no culls and has only dreadbolts by playing his thunder swords aggressively instead of his gargoyles. Ming now
Wow.
is deciding to level his Zemus anyways.
Yeah, which, like, if he,
Against
had
the
just,
thunder sword plan, right?
if he had gone Thundersaur Weirwood in front of that Zemus, that would have been a huge, huge problem.
It would have been massively bad.
I feel like Ming got a little bit lucky there in that he did not pull the right cards. That's certainly the right play there. You got to get rid of that Arc Flight. You just have to.
Yeah, it's got to die. There's the Zemus coming back around.
Yeah, I think I like Gargoyle Patriarch. Get a big Gargoyle.
Absolutely. This is what I love about not leveling your gargoyles when you don't draw them, is that they are turned into level 2 gargoyles
Yep, that's
by your
true.
patriarchs.
That is true.
And okay, it's not quite a level 2 gargoyle, but it's pretty close.
Yep. And I like putting him in the middle. I think that's a good spot for him.
Absolutely. It'd be even better if he was actually a level 2 gargoyle.
Okay, so we're gonna play Doomwing, right?
I think you have to play Doomwing.
Yeah, it's tough though. I mean, I feel like you've committed to Zemus. If you don't play Zemus 3,
No, there's no way he plays Phoenix Ashes here. There's
Yeah.
no way.
I mean, Phoenix Ashes would be phenomenal, but
Well, except that, you're facing down a board full of guys, two
Yeah.
of which have 9 power.
True.
You're nowhere near 2.4.
Yep. But where do you? I think I would have moved
I would have moved
The
Predator to
Predator.
1 and then the Doomwing at 2, yeah.
exactly, and then he could jump over and kill him.
Because as it is right now, he can't reach anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he did it because he doesn't want the Gargoyle to move and trade for the Doomwing. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I think I'm okay trading the Doomwing for the Gargoyle, in my mind at least.
I mean, I'm not, but you don't have any other options.
Well,
That's
that's
the
what I mean.
problem.
Obviously, I don't want to trade it 1 for 1.
Right. And there's that underleveled wind caller. Just imagine if that was the wind caller that we had thought about
Are
leveling.
you sure that's the same one, sir?
It
Are you
is.
marking
I
the
can
cards?
tell. It's all
Are you
art.
marking you're marking the cards?
I have a little marker I put on him.
Again.
So I'm so good in tournaments. All right, so I think StillHad plays Arc Flight, Thundersaur, right? I mean, maybe
Definitely
there's not a
just
good
play
spot
cards. I mean, I could see a Bright Steel here,
though.
but
Yeah,
I don't favor it personally.
yeah, I don't either. I could kind of see actually Thundersaur 2, Bright Steel 1, and the more I look at the board, the more I like that. Because otherwise, if he plays, let's say he goes Thundersaur 1, Squadron 2, the Squadron is going to get eaten by the Doomwing anyway, so there's not much point in that. So I think I like Ming's play better. Okay, the way I thought he was going to do it.
Thundersword to 2,
Yep.
which I like. Block the Predator,
Yeah.
and there is the Bright Steel coming
Yeah,
down.
I
Yeah, okay.
think that's a better play.
The problem I have with it is that now the Doomwing actually gets value moving into the center lane.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to move over there and eat him, but I would rather he ate that guy rather than either...
I mean, heck, the Predator even goes left and grows off that Sentinel.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So maybe it didn't work out all that well.
I don't know. It's interesting.
You going to play the egg here? Or the ashes, as it were?
I'm looking for a spot to play the Ashes.
All right, but you're looking pretty hard and going, where did I play these ashes?
I haven't found it yet, but there's got to be a spot to play the Ashes.
Let's see. Wow. Yeah, this is a really tough board for ashes.
I think I might. I'm a crazy person, but I have played a lot of Phoenixes in my time, and I think personally I would probably overwrite the Predator in 1 post combat.
Wow. That is quite the tree.
I mean, you want to get the Sentinel off the board in combat so it doesn't grow.
What
to
about
a
this?
Patriarch, but
What about moving Predator over into 3, moving Doomwing to 2 to handle that that Thundersaur,
Oh, I like that.
Dread bolting in the middle lane, and then
Yeah,
playing Phoenix.
And then Ash is in, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best play. You got to get
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I like that a lot
Thundersaur
better, actually, moving the Doomwing into 2 to kill the Thundersaur.
Yeah, you got to get him out of there. He's gonna just be a serious problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the guy you're playing Doomwing to kill, right?
Yeah.
Is that Thundersaur.
Certainly, it's not to kill a level 1 gargoyle. I mean, level
Yeah.
1 gargoyle
I mean,
can be
a
annoying.
9/9 level 1 gargoyle, but still.
9/4. Let's be honest here.
Okay, it was a 9/9. Come on, sir.
Let's see what Ming does. He's got a lot of choices. I mean, there's quite a few different possibilities here. I mean, you could even ignore the egg entirely, or the ashes, just drop a Phoenix down and try to do some damage that way. All right, so he goes that play. Ooh, look at that. And he's going to Dreadbolt over there. Interesting.
Interesting. I mean, this is fine, too.
I don't like this as much because Thundersaurs are going to be a problem.
I mean, yeah, this was my original line. I think I do, having thought about it for the last couple minutes, I think I do like the one we came up with afterwards a little bit better, which kills the Thundersaur.
By we, you mean me. Is that correct?
Oh, I was half of the process.
I think we go...
You're nothing without the ability to bounce thoughts off me,
You have to get rid of Doomwing, right? Like, you can't let him just walk around and eat everything.
Oh, definitely.
And
He has to be
unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of options to do that.
He really doesn't. He can't even play Tactician in the middle lane at all.
Yeah, I think you just got to go Sentinel middle lane, Roar. You get the blowout. You do have to give up the egg, but, I mean, what are your choices there? I don't think you have
It's a
choices.
terrible spot.
Yeah, it was a really bad hand at a bad
Well,
moment.
I mean, there's nothing he can do about the egg anyways. With the
I mean,
action
had he gotten a Basher.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a basher.
Yeah. With the hand he was dealt, he was in a lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble. At the same time, he has some big, scary Thundersaurs down.
Yep, he sure does. And not a lot of great cards here to work with.
Well, he's going for the wing color to kill the Thundersaur.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty clear play.
Yeah.
I
mean, that Thundersaur is still only 7 power.
Yeah.
This 3.1 hand is
my
anti-gold.
goodness. All right, never mind. He's fine.
These are the kind of hands that I play NT for.
He's fine. Although Thundersaur 1, Gargoyle 4 looks pretty reasonable, not knowing Ming's hand.
Not knowing that the
he's
Annihilation
dead.
Squad is coming down.
Not
next
knowing
turn,
that
yeah.
he's dead already. That's a pretty reasonable looking approach. A good end to player level 2. You can't assume that your opponent drew his 2 best cards on 3.1.
By the way, guys, I leveled 1 Phoenix.
And here
I
he
level-
is, twice.
Bam! Also, my Zemus.
How you like me now? Yeah, that's definitely going to be trouble.
Yeah, that's fairly savage, not
yeah,
gonna lie to you.
Yeah, you go there. I think post-combat, probably Zemus 1.
I like Zemus 1. You can afford to take a hit here
Yeah.
because you're doing triple lethal next turn.
Triple lethal.
Pretty close, not gonna lie to you. It's pretty
Yeah,
close.
so he's going to move him over.
He could also just put it in 5 to block off the Gargoyle from doing damage, but
I don't
yeah,
think
no,
he cares
I like
about
the
damage.
1 in trade.
Yeah, damage
Oh,
is not
there's
really
the
an issue.
Doomwing.
There's a Thundersaur 3, too.
It's
my.
it's too little, too late.
Too
I'm
little,
afraid.
too late. It's never too late for Thundersaur.
Oh, okay.
Look at how big he's going to be. He's going to block that Phoenix.
He's
gonna
gonna
become
trade.
enormous.
And StillHadAllDeez is taking 10.
Yes, that is definitely true.
That is what's happening.
There you go.
Don't get me wrong. Thundersaur 3 is a big, scary guy. He's still not a Phoenix 3.
No. So that's game because he moves his Phoenix over. The other one
Move and
dies.
attack
That's
is lethal,
32.
yeah. He can Dreadbolt for rub-ins damage.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the roll for the last giveaway.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody.
Hope you all win. And then we'll do another giveaway here. Where is the gift box? There we go. That's good enough.
That is how
All right.
you want to draw at 3.1. Wow.
So the winner is Liviarion Your code will be emailed to you, well, Twitch mailed to you after the event is over.
Congratulations, sir.
All right,
Enjoy your
so the next giveaway, put in, let's see, hashtag 3.1. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
I agree with that.
3.1 will win games, man.
That was a defining turn in that game. You know, if he hadn't had such a good hand, that Thunderstorm 3 was coming down.
Yeah, it was
And
going to be
could have
interesting.
really made some trouble.
The game was about to be interesting, and then it suddenly was
unfortunately
not.
for StillHadAllDeez, Ming had all the cards.
So I picked Ming, right?
No, I picked Ming.
I think we both did. We're going to have to ask
I
the
think
stream.
we both didn't.
The stream says 3.1, which means I picked him.
You can tell yourself whatever helps you sleep at night, sir.
Man, I got to be able to sleep at night. Otherwise, I need my beauty sleep. I lose this magnificent face. The mind goes to Swiss cheese. I lose like 30 games in testing to Ming somehow.
Yeah. I mean, you lose almost all your games to me in testing. That's a fact.
Yeah, man. All right.
Wow.
Wow. 3 Doom Wings.
Wow. So there's only one Doom Wing being leveled in this game.
That's kind of a problem. That's
A
pretty
little
much
bit.
worst
I mean,
case.
he only leveled one Doom Wing last game too.
That's true. Is he going to go double Arc Flight, or are you going to go Arc Flight Gargoyle? Like, if I'm still I'm thinking I have to adjust my strategy. Like, whatever I'm doing so far
Has not been working.
is not working.
So how do we adjust to beat that?
Yeah, Thundersword can't be played anymore. I need to just level Gargoyles and pray that works.
I'm on board with that plan. I mean, that's sort of the original default plan of the deck when it comes down to it.
Yep. So it seems like Gargoyle...
Yeah, so I would go like Arc Flight 1 and Gargoyle 2 personally.
Yep, that's what I would do. Actually, I kind of like that.
Putting it in front of it is also fine, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
funny.
Okay.
On my little image here, I thought Phoenix was a win caller. I was like, oh, he's got it. Nope, but he doesn't have it. He could, though, go Epidemic Uronte Bolt on the Arc Flight. That could have been an interesting play. But I think leveling Dreadbolt is probably the right approach. And boy, did he get lucky
I think
here.
so.
Wow. That was incredibly lucky that he has no robots.
That I honestly hate when that happens because it's
the worst feeling in the world because now you have
it
this
really is
awful card.
You're celebrating in your mind. Yes, my Arc Flight lived.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. It never lives. And then you stare at your hand and you have no robots. and you look at your Arc Flight.
Cry.
And you activate it anyways, just for,
Just because you have to. Otherwise, it just feels bad.
Exactly.
So you got to go Basher 3, I think. Get the Doomwing off. Level a Basher in the process. I mean, you could go Justicar 3, I suppose.
I don't think Justicar does anything against Ming's deck.
I don't think so either.
I think he's a non-player.
Unless he decides to get crazy and go...
I mean, it's nice that he would survive, but I don't think it's worth it all. In fact, there's a Predator there. The last thing you want on the board is a 1 HP Justicar sitting right beside your Predator.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Static Shock tends to do terrible things to you. And so this is where StillHad has to be reeling a bit. Like, you played the Arc Flight, it lived, then you didn't get value from it, and it grew a Predator instead.
Yeah,
like, that's just
this is suddenly a Predator game.
Yep. It's a very frustrating.
Look, that Predator's grown twice. The Thundersword is 0 damage.
Okay, so he looks like he's going to play Basher. I think I would have double Gargoyled here, just to say, okay, I need a real threat, and I'm going Gargoyles this game. I think that's what I would have done.
We're still in player level 1. I definitely would have double Gargoyled.
Yeah, I understand the Basher because you're getting rid of this Predator that keeps growing and is incredibly annoying.
I mean, yeah, he's scared of the Predator, which is why he did it, but I think you just have to take the hit.
And look at this. Wind Caller comes over.
Oh my
Dreadbolt. Everything is going
Static Shock
well.
Dreadbolt. This is oh wow.
Oh my goodness.
This is honestly a better start than the Doomwing wreck the board start in game 1, in my opinion, because this way he has Predators which are going to grow all game. I mean, this isn't stopping. Yeah. Once you start, the next Predator comes down, and it only gets worse.
Yes. I didn't see the other card that he's holding, so okay, it's a weird one. That helps. So he's got a little something on board, but he's way down on life already, and he's going to take 11 more. He's at 50 essentially right now.
I mean, I think at this point he needs to be happy that that predator is locked by the wind collar.
Yeah, I think you have to play Doom Wing, maybe in 3, and then kill the Tactician with like a Shock Spark.
Except that Shock Spark doesn't kill Tacticians.
What is it
so I
at?
don't know what you're talking about.
I can't even see. Oh, it's at 5.9. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It will not kill him.
No.
So,
Yeah, I think Doom Wing definitely in
that's a
2,
good idea.
personally.
Yeah, Doom Wing in
Yeah,
2.
you don't think that's a good idea?
I think maybe Phoenix in 3. I mean,
I want to get the shock level. Oh, he's moving it over. Wow. I love it. I love it.
There's a pro play, people.
Locked?
That's a pro
I don't
play.
think so, folks.
Pro play, right there. Good job, Ming.
Nicely done.
Very
I
well
didn't
done.
consider that because, the times I play Predator is approximately never.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've had a Predator deck. I used to love them so much.
I used to play them pre-Shapers. Then I became a Shapers player in my second week of Soulforge.
If I'm StillHad, I'm
Crying?
I'm reeling right now. Like, I don't know what to do.
I don't think there's anything he can do.
He's got huge guys on the board.
He's playing a board control deck, and he hasn't been on the board yet this entire match.
Yeah, this is just Bizarro land. And now because of Tactician, he's going to be able to Dreadbolt off the Arc Flight. Oh my goodness. It's just like bad to worse. And then he moves over. Oh, wow.
No, he doesn't even know. He hits for damage and grows his Predator for lethal.
Yeah. Okay.
Now it's lethal by itself. He's got 3 creatures that...
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, there we go.
And there's the concession. All right, folks.
There we go.
Jake successfully predicted the outcome of this match.
As I successfully predicted, Ming swept 3-0. All right,
nobody listens to your lies.
Let's bring our champion back on. With his
Bring Min is the king back on here.
That sounds about right. So Ming got demoted from king to princess, according to his own theme music.
What was the theme song? I can't hear it through the
Oh,
phone.
that's such a shame. You'll have to listen to it later.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
send me a link later.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Ming. Well, first of all, nice pro play there near the end there with the static shock, moving your
Love
guy
that.
over. Loved
Love
it.
that.
Well, it's because like the reason I did that, I would have just left the guy under normal circumstances, but the reason you do that is because my Predator was 11-11, and 13 is the magic number that you want to hit in level 2.
Sounds right.
So your goal is to grow a 5/5 Predator with 13/13. That's the magic number.
No, my goal is to get 13 damage on any possible thing on the board.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, you're right. 13 is the magic number, thanks to how Thunderstorm works.
So
Yeah, and the wind collars also have this really interesting effect. Like if a level 1 Predator gets out of hand, the wind collars can move them even if I have them under level.
Even
So
if you haven't leveled them, yeah.
exactly.
I kind of love it.
So game 1, I noticed the snow was falling, and I noticed some Christmas lights up on houses, and it was like the Christmas game, right? So you have Doom Wings going around, eating the world, and Jake and I are having a great time, and we both think there's no way that this is going to continue. This was a fluke, and game 2 and 3 are going to be totally different.
Yeah,
and they were different, but they were still really impressive one-sided wins.
Well, I mean, they weren't as one-sided as they looked. He was, moments away from breaking my back several times.
Especially in game 2,
Mm-hmm.
it was
especially
really
in game
close
2,
moments. Yeah.
Even in game 3, I feel like had he drawn a little better, maybe because one of the things that this NT deck does so well is that I take everything in the deck is really high variance. Like everything is really high variance, and when you have like 10 things in your deck that are like get this combo and you win the game, it kind of builds its own kind of consistency, right? You still have games where you just die, but but then you have games where it doesn't matter what they draw, so it sort of evens out. And it
See
really
that.
just comes down to making the right plays at the right time, and that's really what gives you the edge. Like all things, I believe it was you who told me, Mr. Grimes, that there is actually some skill involved in this game.
I believe I did.
Can't
say
tell
that.
from watching him though, right?
Hey,
Am I
whoa,
right?
watch it now.
You can when he's in a tournament.
There you go. So I guess I want to revisit something. So no culls. Does that mean you weren't worried about Thunderswords growing out of control because of your Doomwings?
Well, before I answer that question, let me ask you, what would you cut for culls?
You shouldn't ask Grimes hard
I
questions.
guess it would have to be Urante Bolt, even though I love Urante Bolt and I think it's really well placed in the meta.
Right? So I mildly agree with that. Mildly.
I think that's the only card you could.
But you have to think about it like this. If I'm running Static Shock, I want Urante Bolt in there. If I'm worried about things like Leafkin, Urante Bolt solves that. Static Shock plus Urante Bolt solves Arc Flight most of the time, especially when you need him the most.
Yeah.
What do you use Cull for? You use it to kill Battle Tactician.
The exact
right?
same cards you mentioned, plus more.
Exact same cards
Arc
that you
Flight.
mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, but like those cards are already dealt with by Urante Bolt. So I'm talking about what does Cull kill that Urante Bolt doesn't, and it's like Battle Tactician and Thundersoar, right?
Thundersoar, yeah.
Yeah, that's the big one though.
But against Thundersoar, not Doomwing, Dreadbolt is way better against Thundersoar most of the time, because if you think about it like this, 0-24 Thundersoar, 0-36, not that scary. It's not until he gets to like 16-16 or some like number where his health is equal to his attack that he's really dangerous, and that's when Dreadbolt shines better, because you always want the Dreadbolt to save you from death. If the Thundersoar's not doing any damage, proactively removing him is good, but you could be doing other stuff, and then they invest resources in the Thundersoar, and then you rob them.
Yeah, the one problem with that approach, and I agree with it, is that it makes you really reliant on drawing the 1 or 2 Dreadbolts you leveled at the exact right time, right? Like if you see them early in the player level, and then the Thundersoar grows out of control after you've seen them, or you just don't see them, then it becomes a real problem.
Yeah, and that's why, if you noticed, I like aggressively leveled Dreadbolt like with the slightest provocation. I was like, I'm just gonna get Dreadbolt.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Sure.
So it's not like I don't want culls in here. I just don't think that. I mean, it's mildly controversial, right? Like you can cut your Bolt and run culls, and it'd probably be fine. But
yeah, I think it could go either way. I like Urante Bolt quite a bit for the mirror matchup, because I really like zapping Zemus with under-leveled Urante Bolts and just say, okay, we're going to race Zemus's. Your Zemus doesn't do anything this turn. Let's race.
Right. Well, the combo of Urante Bolt and Dreadbolt makes it so that you can buy time to get your Dreadbolts for the Thundersoars.
Yeah.
Because if you replace Urante Bolt with Cull, then you have to draw the right removal for the right situation. Like, is it a low Thundersoar or a high Thundersoar?
Yep, that sounds fair.
Right. So I mean, I do want Cull in here, but the deck limit isn't 33 cards.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you really have very few slots to work with when you're running a 6-card Doomwing package, right? Which is what it comes down to.
Right.
Yep.
And this deck operates on the same theory as that Drix deck that Tin Man talks about, where it's like you really have almost 2 decks going side by side, and you want to find as much synergy between the 2 engines that you have.
Right.
Right. So you notice that, like in the games that I didn't go Predator, I almost didn't care about Predator that much.
Oh yeah, no, you didn't play him at all, which I agree with completely, because you're either playing all the Predators, or you're playing none of the Predators, in my opinion.
Right. But one thing I found that is if you run Doomwing, you are worse not only in the mirror, but against like really hard control decks like NT control. You are slightly less favored, and so I think Zemus is really important there if you are afraid of ever facing NT.
Oh,
because
for sure.
Zemus puts those decks on a clock.
Yep.
Right. So I mean, like, I could have guessed that Kyle was going to play Grobots, in which case maybe I should have replaced Zemus with something else. But like this is what I would play at a tournament, right? So I didn't want to be like run Blightwalker there, like a random,
like how I do.
like a random Blightwalker in place of Zemus, just to be like,
Yeah.
just to
I
be like,
agree.
I anticipate Growbots, so I'm
I
going
think you
to
have to
hard
have
counter
Zemus in
Growbots.
this deck. I would love to see a Blightwalker or two because of Windcaller. It just synergizes so well with him, except for the fact that it's just one more card you have to level, and I'm just not sure there's room for another card you have to level to make it useful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind running a ton of must levels because you just sort of play the thing that you want, and then the under wind callers have this similar impact. It's like imagine the worst patriarch in the world, and the under level wind caller is kind of like that because it
Yep.
takes your bad plays and like gives them some breathing room.
I have a
it synergizes
feeling-
with your underleveled cards. I like it.
I have a feeling we're going to see this deck in the constructed queue. So get ready, people.
I don't
Get
know,
ready,
man.
folks.
I built my entire collection off of constructed queuing with this deck. I've never seen it. I've never seen too many people play like this. They either play the pure Grimgaunt one with like Devourer,
Mm-hmm.
or they go the PTK route with like one of the two Hellions or both.
But Ming, the difference is you hadn't won the Forge before with this deck. This
Yeah.
deck is famous now.
I guess.
It's second only to having a Tiny Grimes article published about your deck.
Which is coming up next. Stay tuned for this deck I just invented. I call it the Ming is Kingly. Actually, no, I call it Tiny Grimes' Royal Deck of Destruction.
No, the proper name for this deck is Doomsling.
Is what?
Doomsling? Oh, man.
Doomsling.
Doomsling.
Doomslaying. All right. Very good. So now we know the name as well, Doomslaying. Well, Ming, thank you so much for coming on and just having utter and complete destruction. It was great.
Yeah. Well,
Congratulations on your win, sir.
I mean, I have to win at some point, right?
Yeah. So it might as well have been on camera right here, right now, today, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
We're breaking the streak. Ming will never lose again on a stream.
I've stolen Grimes' mojo.
Whoa. Whoa.
That-
Let's not be
whoa.
stealing my mojo.
That's really why
That's all
I'm
I've
here.
got.
Infringing
on-
on the mojo.
I'm gonna online vampire Grimes' ability to 180.
No. They call that stepping up under pressure. I believe that's what it's called. All right, guys. Thanks again for coming by, and we will see you again next week for another edition of The Forge, where 2 enter, 1 emerges champion, and 1 leaves beaten, battered, and bruised.